Crypto is in a really exciting spot right now. And throughout the past couple of weeks, I've told you about different sectors that I find really exciting. RWA, AI, the Bitcoin ecosystem, you name it. And the reason I'm doing that is not because I think it's going to bring you crazy gains tomorrow. Matter of fact, it may very well not. It may very well take many more months to go crazy. Because again, I'll remind you of one very important thing. Bitcoin first, Ethereum next, large altcoins first, and then all the smaller and crazier altcoins, which also means that if we're talking about an AI coin in the 2000 spot or so, it's going to take significantly longer for them to gain. So typically, in this period of the market, I am mostly stacking up on either, I'd say, Ethereum or some of the large cap coins. You know, the Bitcoin phase is still okay, but we all know it's starting to fade out. But I'm not really going too crazy on the smallest altcoins because they're not in the best of spots just quite yet. It will take another few months for them to get there. Having said that, one of the ones I made a video about a few months ago is something I've also been accumulating a lot. And it's called Radix RDX, but the ticker is actually XRD. I guess to kind of copy Bitcoin with the X for no currency, no country I should say, and then RD for Radix. And now, you might have seen it come by over on Twitter every here and there. You might have seen me talking about it or join in one of these discussions. And that's honestly because I'm a little bit of a baby for their developments. I think over time, the more time you spend in crypto, the more you have like these little favorites or so that you want to see succeed. And for me, Radix is one of them. And it's not only because of numbers. Not only because their numbers are good, but it's also because, as I've described in the past, many of these blockchain projects, in real life, they're dicks. They're not nice peoples. These guys, as of this point, have always been pretty cool. Anyway, right now, they've got something pretty massive going on, if you didn't know it yet. And whereas last time something big was announced, I was, slightly after Altcoin Daily, I think, to make my video. I hope, or I think perhaps this time I'm a little bit early, and just take a look at what they've got. So they announced a 250 mil XRD or $10 million fund to power the next Web3 breakthrough. And as you might know, you might not know, with projects that are trying to scale massively in not the bullish of markets, one of the only things that attracts people over is a healthy ecosystem. People are not going to build if other people are not building. But since crypto is so competitive nowadays, one of the best ways to get people to hop over and just kind of see it first is through these grant programs. Because regardless of how good your project is, right? Let's just be realistic here. People are going to build it where the majority of people are going to see it. Most people don't care about tech capabilities that much from the get-go. It's only once they see others adapting it, using it, etc. So these guys have upped their game with the boosting here quite significantly, which is always nice to see. But they've also done something quite cool, which is Token Trek. And Token Trek's a pretty interesting website for a lot of different tasks. But specifically for Radix, you can see there's a couple of cool things you can check out. And I didn't actually know there's actually two little buckets for it with different things you can do as of this point. And usually how these campaigns work a little bit is you want to reward people for trying out new things outside of their comfort zone. That's always the best way I can describe it. So what these guys are doing here as well is the more you get acquainted with RDX, I always say RDX, I'm so sorry about that guys, because Radix, RDX, it just kind of rolls off. But just again to remember, it's called Radix, but the token is XRD. And so all these different things you see over on the left here, these are all some different opportunities to get yourself acquainted with different things in the ecosystem by perhaps, fulfilling some tasks and getting yourself some tokens, or like here with the milestone rewards, just going through them and doing some stuff will also reward you some XRD. So it's definitely something worth considering, definitely something to look into. Now, if you're wondering where to store it, how does it all work, you could go ahead and check out their website. There's a little button here that says the Radix wallet. Obviously, you can also just press this button to explore the ecosystem. I've said this in multiple tutorials. The biggest thing I recommend people to do when trying to get into new cryptos is just to look at some different tabs that say ecosystem, so you can see what's on there, so you can test some things out. In this case here, if you press it, you will indeed find a lot of interesting things going on over there, because there's just a full list. I'm not sure if it's full, but there's a good list of different projects that are being worked on right now as we speak. And again, this will not be the craziest, even though it's pretty long and ongoing, but that's obviously because even though it's a massive, like top 200 company, or I should call it cryptocurrency, and they're definitely not in its infancy stages. They're working on some stuff and working with the community in a way that usually only smaller projects do. So it's, again, quite nice to see. To get back to it, Radix wallet, again, pretty simple. Just press use, go ahead and press the Radix wallet and you'll find it. Obviously, there's a full-on guide as to how to do it over on the website here. And you can just get it on your iPhone or your Android pretty simply. But that's all besides the point. Let's now quickly talk about my personal thoughts as to where it will go. Being very real with you, right now, today as we speak, Bitcoin's falling ever so slightly, and so most altcoins fall more. It's just the way it usually happens. So whenever I see like a minus 3% or something like that, I don't really mind that at all because I know that Bitcoin is falling. I mostly look at it from a longer term perspective. And my thoughts on this are pretty simple. I personally think if we look back at the peak bull market last time, and we saw it got to like 50, 60 cents or so. Right now it's down significantly, sure, but so are most altcoins. And even though you might come out and say, Dusty, why would I buy an altcoin? It's only going down. I tell you right now that at some point it's going to shift. Altcoins are going up 40, 50% in a day for multiple days in a row. And you've got to filter the right coins early because you'll get faked out very often. So in markets where you're not doing as great, you're not having these crazy pumps every single second, that's when you filter through the weeds and find the proper longer term support type of coins. But also you take a look at the ones that are here making these massive updates, spending tons of money on growing their ecosystem when the market's not as bullish, because many projects only do it when the spotlight's on them. So again, it's mostly just like a filter of sorts. Now, I also always believe what it was able to achieve years ago with way less hype or way less of a community and lesser in tech and announcements, it is able to achieve again as long as most of the macro, market factors don't change. And what I mean with that is, let's say, for example, we had a project A, but their technology has become so redundant, the technology B is now in every single way, shape, or form better. Project A might not find its glory again. But if there's a project A and project B is only side by side, they're not the same, but better, so it's not like a V2, it's mostly just parallel, or they're, projects like doing pretty similar things. If that's the only case, I personally believe they will get their 2021 glory back. And matter of fact, right now I am basing most of my altcoin purchases and theories on the 2021 run because I believe most altcoins will still reach, again, this is my personal opinion, not financial advice at all, that they'll reach a 3x at least or so from the price they hit back then, depending on how huge the market caps already were. With RDX, I think they were actually pretty huge, man. I mean, right now they're still 400 million. So imagine if the price is like 15 times as high. But yeah, many of these smaller projects right now in the quote-unquote starting phases of the bull market will probably end up being $60 billion plus projects. But again, one of the bigger differentiating factors is what they're doing when the market's not so green. Are they putting their money where their mouth is? Are they shipping out updates? Is their tech becoming increasingly better? And I think with these guys, they've got it unlocked. And it's also so cool that they're trying new things, like, for example, Token Track here, trying to get people to kickstart their little meme coin and like crypto careers by funding it ever so slightly. Yes, it might not be huge per person because they only put a $120,000 pool. But I think if this does really well, they'll keep adding it up, or they'll start new initiatives akin to this. Because as I said before, these guys are quite human. They understand what the people want, and it's not just corporate. But those are just my thoughts on the matter. Again, if you want to check it out, I'll probably put a link down below, or you can just check out the website like I just said. Check out the Twitter, wherever you want to go. Pretty cool project in my opinion. I think over time it'll do extremely well. But hey, that's about it.